Everybody, good to see you. It's Peggy from Garvin Gardens. I'm here at Wooddale Library, one of my favorite places to be, and Jim and Meg are having me here do this program here on the library website, so you can all tune in. I know I have some people coming by to pick up all their bouquets and lovely Halloween things to go. So yeah, we're going to make that Halloween centerpiece, which is always fun. We're going to start with the container, of course. I have a selection of containers, but all of them are going to have a waterproof liner inside because these will leak. Inside that, I have that floral foam Oasis, or is a brand name, so I pre-soak that. I usually fill up the sink here in the kitchen, or I do it at home in my sink. Soak that brick of foam, so I'll cut it to fit my container. This is actually 1/3 of a brick of foam. We set it on top of the water, let it seep in all by itself. You never want to force it under because you will get a dry spot in the middle. You wouldn't know it because it looks wet, but it's not solidly wet. So just let that soak down all by itself. Just takes a minute. And like I said, I cut this to fit these containers, or these liners, and this is about 1/3. I tape this down with a little waterproof forest tape just to hold it securely so we can get that delivered without any incidents. And here's my little cute Halloween container. Anything to hold a liner is what we're looking for. So when you're going to go water this, because you're going to have to add water to it to keep it fresh, I literally would pull this thing out and take it over to the faucet and just make sure there's always water in this liner. You take the whole thing over, you'll probably miss and end up with it all over the table or inside here, then it would leak again. So that's my tip. So the flowers we're going to have today, green spider mums. They come with little hairnets on them. You can just slip those off. Those I left a couple on just for traveling so no one gets damaged. And as they open, you can see they open up beautifully like that. Spread out all their little petals. We also have safflower, little orange balls for some Halloween look. And safflower is that flower that creates that oil that you like to eat with your cooking. So that's that. And then my favorite fuchsia, purple colored Gollum, precious carnations, my precious, from the movie Lord of the Rings. That's what they're called, Gollum, and I just love this color. So this is the one true color you can get, is in the carnation there. We have our yellow Viking pops, chrysanthemums, but these are pops because there's multiple flowers per stem. And they have that brown center in them, so that makes that variety called Viking. And then we have our trick, green trick. So we have tricks and treats. The green trick is actually a hybrid of the carnations, as you can see. Has the same foliage and the same stem. So that's just a fun thing. Looks like a Dr. Seuss type flower. I just love it. Kind of textural. And then we have Grevillea. That's my scary Grevillea. It's painted purple for some shocking colors here for Halloween, but it does come in a few different colors, and naturally it's kind of a dark green foliage. But I just love that jagged edge. Just gives it some texture. And then of course we're going to be using leatherleaf just as our filler. So we're going to start with the leatherleaf. And I suggest when you get home with your bouquets that you do this. Separate all your flowers. It's going to be a lot easier for you to organize and kind of plan out how you're going to make this. So when we start, we got our foam and our container all ready to go. We're going to trim these foliage, these leather leaves. You might get a surprise in some of these. It is spore season for a little more scariness. Leather leaf does come with spores, and I know you've probably seen them before, and a lot of people might think they're bugs. They're little dots on the back sides of the leaves, and that's actually just how they reproduce. But it does look a little scary, and they're not bugs. But since it's Halloween, that's a trick you might get in your bouquet. There's nothing much I can do about it. It's just a seasonal thing, and in the fall they try to, reproduce one more time. So we're going to take our leather leaf and create this into a smaller piece. I always like to start at the top. I look at a nice tip. I'm going to go down to about so big here, cutting right above another set of leaves, as you can see. Let's see, here we go. We'll take that top off, so I got a nice tip. Then I usually go down, take a couple more, again, cutting right above another set of leaves, and then I would do that like a double. Now some of these are big. on their own, so I'm just going to go cut those off separately and make a nice little pile. And every piece is different, so you may get some smaller pieces that just start out this big to begin with. So just use your judgment here. You're going to just get a nice tip out of there. That's anywhere from 8 to 10 inches. And then you can do a couple doubles depending how big they are. But when they get too big, being that our container isn't really that large, I don't need to get these too big. You can leave these together for now, but we can always take them apart. We need smaller pieces. So just go ahead, trim your leaves into smaller pieces, and this is really going to get you a lot further with this foliage. Anytime you see any of this broken or brown leaves, you're just going to want to pinch those off and clean it up a little bit. That's what we do at the flower shop. Nothing goes to waste. You got to just clean it up a little bit so you get a good piece. So you can see I cut these all into usable sizes. So we'll start with greening here. And what I do first is take a couple of those pretty tips we took out at the beginning. I'm going to stick those right in the center, and they're almost looking at each other, kind of doing a little dance. We're just right in the middle, working around. Now this is an all-around arrangement, so you can put it in the center of the table and see it from all sides. So you're going to take some of these smaller pieces, and anytime you have any leaves that may go into the foam, you're just going to want to strip those off. Nice clean cut, clean stem, so that it's only the stem going into the foam and no leaves. So we're going to start with the 4 sides. I'm going to do right along the edge of the container, flat, so it's actually laying on the side of the container. And this way, it'll cover that foam and all your mechanics. So we're going to do all 4 sides. And again, I'm just sort of cleaning up as I go, stripping up any leaves. And I should be using my knife or my pruner. I have a habit of a thumb tool. So you can see I did the 4 sides. I even stuck one of those doubles along the side here. But we got the 4 edges of the foam and then the 2 on the top. So I can just continue sticking a few more in. We'll do some on the top. And we'll do some on the corners. And I just sort of randomly am going to fill this in. Again, picking up anything that's broken. Nice little edge. Make sure you come all the way down to the edge of the container. And you can do this very randomly. It does not have to be perfect. It looks a little more natural if it is more random. So that looks pretty good. I don't think I can see. Here's one that's kind of big. I can actually take these and do a little smaller piece right in there. Which I think I'm going to do that here too. And I don't need to be too full. The foliage, the leather leaf, is really the backdrop to the arrangement and to the flowers, so I don't need it to be huge and sticking out way further than this. So this is about proportionate for this size container. I can still see the foam through there, so I can have plenty of room to get those flowers in. So let's get started. First of all, I think we're going to start with, let's go with those spiders. I like the spider moths, and I love this green color. It's good for many times of the year, but I thought it was kind of appropriate right now. So I'm trying to have a nice clean stem. I will trim off any foliage. Mum foliage isn't really beautiful or anything. You don't have to leave that on there, really. So we're going to do one tall one right up on top with my height, so it's just under the foliage, or just above the foliage, and it's right under the flower there. And then we'll do 2 more. Or again, I'll cut a little shorter. Uh-oh. I'll get that one. I'll do another one, a little shorter. And one on one side. Thanks, Jim. And then one on the other. So they're a little shorter because I want them to actually come in onto the side of the foam and look out at you. So we have tall and then a little shorter. Okay? And then let's follow through with those green tricks. We get all our green in there. Our nice little furry ball here. So just like any carnation, there's that knob here and this long between the leaves. So I don't really want to cut right underneath the knob. I would have a bigger hole and a bigger space for that flower. I'm going to go above it or below it. We're going to go a little shorter because I'm going to come all the way down so you can see my little mossy green trick right in front. Let's do the other guy on the other side. So here I'm trimming off those leaves again, cutting above this knob, not below it, but just above it. So I have a nice clean stem, clean cut, and we'll use him over here. So basically, we got a green arrangement going on. We got our 1, 2, 3 spiders and our 2 green trick. So then, my lovely Garvin carnations, they're going to fill in the space here. So again, cutting above that knob, I'm going to use those in between all those other green flowers. And if you see the placement, I'm coming out and I'm looking away at the people sitting at the table. You can help these open a little bit, but I think they're all pretty open. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, like a triangle from the top if you're looking down. And let's do another over here. So that really sets off that purple with that green. I love these colors. So you can see the placement. That's a triangle on top, looking down. And then let's go ahead and use our safflower. So some are open, some are closed. You'll have little buds. I like them all, open or closed. I love the texture of it. And depending on what your stem looks like, I just sort of cut up all these individual stems. And here again, trim those leaves off, nice clean stem. And we'll start with a taller one just below our tall flower. Just cute little orange balls everywhere. Do another, strip off those leaves. Oops, nice cut. So I'm just sort of filling in here. And I'm going to start taller and work my way down. So we're just underneath that tall spider bomb. All right, keep going. And now, a few more. So even the buds, I think, look cool. So let's use them. They have that nice texture. So come all the way down, just like we did with the foliage, to the edge, hanging things over the edge. Looks really nice. Especially when you go a little horizontal. A lot of people just tend to put things on the top. And you need to change your placement. So we'll do a couple more here. Even those buds, they're a little spiky, but all the way down to the edge, so it's coming off the edge of the pot. So that is more horizontally as it goes in. And then a couple can stay together if they have short stems. You can leave them together. I'm just going to take off some of these knobs on the side. And I see a spot right here. So a few little orange in there. I got one little one here. Let's use him. And I'm always taking off any foliage that's going to go into that ball. So here we go. One more here for a nice bright orange color. So it's sort of a random couple on top in between our Garvin carnations and our spider bombs, and then low all the way down by that green trick. So do remember to go top and into the sides. So then we're going to start filling in with our yellow Viking pops. Okay, so here too, now when I cut pops up, I usually start at the bottom. Now this little bud is not going to show anything showing color may open, but it doesn't really matter. I do like the buds just for a variety of size. So I usually start at the bottom, cutting them off right at the main stem, so I get the longest stem possible. And nice long one. I'll leave those two together. Now we get to this part, let's look at that. We'll just take this tall one here, and here's where it's been pinched. I can clean this up and get a stem like that. If I need a longer stem, I could otherwise cut it short if I want a short one. You can't put it back on if you take it off. So leave it on until you need it. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to pick out a couple tall ones first. Again, tall up top, kind of in between our little safflower. Stripping off those leaves. And then over here, I'm just sort of mixing the yellow throughout now. There you go. And I think I'm going to go short, because I do want some all the way down to the edge too. I want that yellow all the way around. And I will use these buds with the yellow showing, because I do like that size of the head difference and just the extra texture. Not like they're going to really open or anything, but they look cute. So continue with those. And one more stem here. Let's see. Here, so I'm just cutting off. I always start at the bottom so I can get that longest stem. Every variety is a little different. They always don't come with long tendrils like this, so something you have to always look for. So just a couple more yellow in here to really brighten this up. It just pops on here. And this looks like fall and Halloween. Okay, so I'm going to use my buds here too. And I don't think I can get that little bud in there. I'm going to go shorter. Here we go. One on the side. I got one left over here. I'll just go ahead and use them up. So that looks pretty good. But then we get to add the grevillea. I love this stuff. It's just so different and very textural. So to cut this into smaller, usable sizes, again, we just don't want this long piece. Same thing like that leather leaf. Let's go here and take little pieces. I think we can go get a little clump like that. I can go down here and take another clump. See how I'm pruning this? I'm working my way and just taking, when I see a good clump together, another good one. And go further. So you could actually use these separately. I'm using that main stem for now. Okay. And one more. Let's see. We can go here. So look how many more branches I got out of one stem. I got this many. And this is really going to set this arrangement off with this textural leaf. So we're just going to sort of fill in with this all over. And it's going to stick out and be spiky and kind of funky looking, which I like. All over the place, so I should have plenty for that. So I just keep working my way around, turn as you go to kind of see where you're at. And stick another in there. Very good. So there's our little floral arrangement, but we're not done yet. Everybody's getting a little treat bag with their flowers. So in the treat bag I made for you, sorry I didn't put any candy in it. I could, but I didn't. So you'll have an assortment. Everything's a little different. We do have some spiders. We have a little bat on this one. The bat, I'm just going to slip him in right here. You can just sort of like he's landing. We got a nice honking purple spider. He can sit on the middle of a spider mom like that. Now, if you have you might have a pumpkin or a witch's hand. Depends on what bag you picked. But yeah, we're just going to stick that little guy right in here. And if it didn't come with a stem on it, because I know I had a couple that were stemless, you can use one of your stems that you just cut off your flowers and just stick it in. So if you didn't want to use this one, these are just styrofoam. Stick a stem in there and use that. Okay. So you got your little pumpkin, and then there's a few extra little spiders. We got a fun little ring spider with some bling on them. And you can stick these anywhere you feel. I think sticking them on the mums looks kind of cool. And then a few extra fun spiders just for, Halloween. I mean, really, we're trying to be happy and nice. But here's a spider. These little spiders that you're getting in your bag actually have a little button on the bottom, so you can stick them into wherever you want them. You can stick them into a pumpkin, or you can stick them on your green tree. Have a cooler there. So it's going to be a hide and seek. Can you find the spiders that you're going to make everybody look for? So I hope you enjoy your flower arrangement, because I sure do. It's so cute. All right. Hope to see you in person soon. Okay. If it's not going to happen this winter, we're doing it in spring for sure. Okay. Have a great Halloween and the rest of the year. And everybody stay healthy. Wear your mask.